The newest talk of the Chinese internet is this video.
然后这个给年轻人换血的技术也是垄断性的，因为在欧洲他们只是把年轻人的血输进来，我们不是，我们是把年轻人的就是血红细胞还给他，把他血浆拿出来，把年轻人17岁到21岁的男孩身体里才有的那个微囊泡拿出来。我每个月都换血，换血一次多少钱？150万到2000万。我还没有完全的普及开，一般都是欧洲的富豪换血换的比较多，把别人抽干嘛？不会，是我们集团母公司花了100多个亿买下的一个血液制品的药厂。粉丝说我用的是17岁人到21岁的血，你关心这个干什么？医疗的黑科技是拿来治病救人的，真有一天你病了，你还得指望我们医疗的人帮你。
And everybody wants to live forever, especially the ultra-rich and the powerful in China. And it seems like they found new, possibly illegal ways to do it. There's this talk of blood swapping in China, and it has drawn so much attention in recent days. Some celebrities like Jet Li, who years ago appeared frail because of long-documented hyperthyroidism, suddenly showed up today looking healthier and decades younger. Now, I'm not claiming here that Jet Li was involved in some hidden anti-aging operation. There is zero evidence to show for that. But this woman, a businesswoman out of Hong Kong, does claim that she runs what's called a blood transfusion clinic slash beauty, I guess, health beauty clinic in China. And yes, that's what she's claiming. Now, she doesn't have any verified medical license to operate on this, or is there a name attached to the biomedical facility doing this for her? Nothing is publicly documented. Still, she's made videos presenting herself as someone who gets younger from a procedure involving the transfusion of what's called small micro vesicles or small extracellular vesicles.
就是换血之后看手跟我一样，有区别吗？我们俩手有区别吗？是不是？
Meanwhile, there's a whistleblower who claims that in Chinese-run scam compounds in Southeast Asia, women are forced into IVF pregnancies, and these special fluids are harvested from the spine, and the spinal fluid is harvested from the infant once, and then growth factors are isolated to grow regenerative stem cells that are injected into wealthy clients. Again, this part is unverified, but the same regions are known for human trafficking, organ trafficking, illegal clinics, and especially because these are Chinese-controlled scam compounds, there's a lot of things that could be happening. So even if the exact practice isn't proven, there is an environment where it could very much happen. Think of organ harvesting. Think of what has happened to Alan Yu. This is not some dark conspiracy. This is actually the possibility of something in China that could happen. So let's talk about it. This is Yu Wenhong, a Hong Kong businesswoman in the beauty and medical spa space. And she's made viral videos recently saying that to look younger, she receives blood-derived microvesicle transfusions. Now, blood-related rejuvenation treatments is not new, but it's something that's not been proven to be effective. Take Brian Johnson, one of the biggest names in the biohacking industry. He literally did this. He tried the plasma exchange using his own son's blood, and it turns out didn't do anything, so he stopped. But if you search the specific scientific journals or databases on this particular topic, you'll only find studies done on mice, not human clinical trials. So there's essentially no approved therapies that actually works or is even allowed on a mass scale. But the classic mouse experiments showed that, yes, in older mice, temporarily there was an improvement when you injected it with the blood from younger mice. The word is temporary, and it's only in mice. Now, the most relevant research that at least I can find comes from, the most recent one is from a Chinese-led study from the University of Nanking. And this was in 2024. It's titled Small Extracellular Vesicles from Young Plasma Reverse Age-Related Functional Declines by Improving Mitochondrial Energy Metabolism. So this study, again, was strictly in mice. And it did show improvements in cellular energy output, but that's a long, long way from approved human anti-aging therapy. Here's why. Everybody that has done a little bit of science would know that to go from a single study to a clinical trial to even getting to that place, you will go through things like peer review, ethics review. You have to go through some type of human trial with test subjects, which in that study was not done at all. So the question is, how is this woman so obsessed with it? And more importantly, where is she sourcing this so-called small extracellular vesicle from. Now, if the research came out in 2024, that's barely 1 year ago. And you don't just industrialize or make an industry-grade commercializing situation out of this one study in less than 12 months. Anyone that's done so would tell you that, yeah, to jump from a study on mice to a regular human treatment takes years. And it takes a lot of steps, which, it could be fast-tracked in China or even done secretly. I'm not discounting that, but it's just from a normal scientific perspective, it's impossible to do it in a year. And that only leaves two explanations for anyone who can even discuss this, which is that the first one, possibly, like I said, it's been happening for years. It's only now surfaced under this so-called study. Or the second one, which is that the treatment she's selling is actually part of an ongoing human experiment, which neither in this case I think is true. Here's why. Because the treatment she claims actually cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, accessible only to the ultra-rich, not to the mass number of people that you need for this controlled clinical trial, or the participants for that matter, to happen in real time. And again, there's also that biology problem, right? If you want to get that amount of treatment, so for every one of her so-called small extracellular injection treatment, it would take around 30 to 40 milliliters. And to get that amount, you will need the plasma from multiple donors. Now, normally humans have about 5 liters of blood. And to get the entire 5 liters, you only get something like a milliliter or two out of that 5 liters of blood for that vesicle thing, right? So the yield is extremely small. It's practically impossible to produce the volume that she claims ethically, meaning that to get the volume for a single treatment, you would need to get the entire blood supply for half a dozen people to create that single vial for that single treatment. So for her to claim that this is being done on a regular basis for the ultra-rich, ethically speaking, entirely impossible. Unless, of course, you're talking about the CCP. Speaking of the CCP doing whatever it wants, let me share something that most people outside of China have no idea about. Because sometimes the most powerful tool isn't a blood transfusion, it's information. Before we continue, I want to talk about this. Recently, I was approached by a team based in the United States on something very special. And I was made aware of this effort that's been going on for a while, and it's to help Chinese people scale the firewall to access free information. Now, here's the truth most people don't actually know. Less than 0.5% of Chinese internet users actually know how to bypass the firewall of censorship. So that's why a group of Chinese American tech experts built a brand new one-click tool that lets anyone inside China the access to free internet safely and completely risk-free. So there's no setup, there's no tech skills required. All you do is you tap on a link and you're through. And the best thing is that the Chinese Communist Party can't stop it. Now, running this system is expensive. For every $2,000 raised, they can only create 100 secure access links. But each of these links will give tens of thousands of people inside China 30 days of uncensored, uninterrupted access to the outside world. And honestly, getting the real truth to the mainland Chinese people is the best way to help them escape the CCP. And I truly believe that. It is why I'm so passionate about helping to amplify the voice of the voiceless in China. Now, if you believe in this mission, please help to make a tax-deductible donation today. And you'll be getting real usage reports so that you can see the impact yourself. Now, if you're also inside China and you're watching this video and you need a secure way to bypass the firewall for your family or friends, you can also request them too. So tap the donation link today and help someone breathe free air again. All right, now back to the story. Now, like I mentioned, in any normal country or any country with a medical ethics committee, this wouldn't be allowed to fly. A person claiming that you can inject youth vesicles will be, laughed out of the room because, that's crazy. But China is not a normal country. And the CCP has a long tangled history of elite-only medical programs, secret research labs, even disappearing children, and complete regulatory darkness. This is why things like forced organ harvesting happens in China. And here's the statistics that you can actually reference. In China, every year, about 200,000 children go missing, and only about 0.1% of the kids are found. Now, this video recently, a whistleblower described IVF baby factories in Southeast Asian scam compounds, and these are basically run by the Chinese people. He claims that each spinal fluid extraction produces up to 3 vials of an elixir of immortality, which is sold for about 500 million yuan each, or about $700,000. Again, the precise practice is unverified. This is a single source of claim. But the existence of Chinese scam compounds is widely known and proven. And we also hear that, at least according to that businesswoman, she has this biotech firm somewhere that she had bought to specifically do the extraction of the small extracellular vesicles. And the CCP has an obsession with extreme longevity for its officials. This was documented. I did a video on this. There was a rumored Project 981, right, for a health project of longevity for its leaders. And this idea was to target the 150-year lifespan. While this was officially acknowledged at some point, it was later quickly deleted. We know that this is true because, well, in China, a lot of people are simply walking organ supplies or organ parts for key officials. They have a huge national registry of health data. So everybody in China has to have their health data submitted to the government. So it's very easy for them to access what blood type or tissue typing or even anything that you have. It just so happens that this woman claims to be injecting these vesicles, somehow recently doing so through a bio company. Conveniently, it's also where a lot of these scam compounds are also doing shady stuff with titles like Life Science Academy or Bio R&D centers, whatever they want to call them. But again, this is all crazy if you think about it. In any other place, this sounds insane. But in China, well, secrecy, power, missing people, and you have a lot of these hidden scam compound activities. None of this is impossible. And suddenly you have a whole situation where you have people openly talking about it. Xi and Putin did so. And then you have people who say that, look, you can spend the money as long as you have it and you can get this thing. Are we going to basically use logics of science, like I have in the beginning, to say that, yes, this is impossible? Or are we going to start believing that because we have presidents like forced organ harvesting, celebrities who have gone missing or are being used for certain things, that somehow this injection situation is off the table? Absolutely, that no one is safe from what's happening. And I think that's the real assumption that we have for what's happening in China is you really cannot discount anything at all. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoy the content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have a science background, let me know how that would work. Or if you have some doubts, also discuss those in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to our channel as we have new videos on China every single week. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.